I gotta catch up.
That one's going.
Uh-oh. Are we live?
I think we're Memorex.
We're Memorexed?
Well, this is being pre-recorded because, well, we can't be live streaming yet. I don't have enough followers.
Well, that's gonna happen eventually.
Well.
You know? This is just the beginning of a very fun series of podcasts. It's called Empty Vessels. Empty Vessels. And we had talked about this for several months before we did our first podcast last week, and we're looking forward to many, many more to have like these great episodes about the most important thing. The one question that is going to dominate this podcast is co-host Mike Kluger. Please take it away.
What are you consuming today? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you smoking? What lotions do you use? What do you watch? What do you listen to? What are you consuming with all five senses?
And what are the things that are causing your body, mind, and spirit to be better or, maybe not so good on any given day? So we're going to look at those things, and then we can scientifically and also, spiritually and mentally and socially decide what are the things that are going to help you, the audience, live better daily lives. I'm your host, Tom Osa, and this is the man here, all right? Mike Kluger. He's the architect and the guide through your journey of Empty Vessels. We had talked about this podcast for about, I'd say maybe 3 months, give or take.
Yeah, something like that.
Mike is an audiovisual expert over at Rockland Community College. We met several years ago. He's helped out with the Stony Music Fest multiple times. We're looking forward to the 8th annual Stony Music Fest
definitely
again.
Looking forward to it.
Right?
The vibe there
Rock
is
on.
so awesome.
All right. And so, and we gabbed about podcasting, and we talked about something that we want to kind of give back. And Mike wants to give this back because he's gone on many journeys, and you'll find out that he's a well-rounded individual that can really help people guide through to better lifestyles and well-being, I think.
I hope to. And I didn't pay Tommy to say any of those things. That's all from him. No script there.
He's got a nice beard, right?
I mean, I do what I do.
Yeah. So.
We're sitting here in my little brew spot, as you can see, Moose and Squirrel Pub, Empire Brewing. I really enjoy New York State craft beer, so I like to talk about a lot about that when we talk about consuming, because that's some of the best stuff to consume around.
Yeah.
But it's not just about beer or smoke, but like we talk about music. And I heard you got to see a really awesome film recently.
I did. Oh my goodness.
Tell me
it
about
had me at hello. Oh my goodness.
Tell me
All
about it.
And I'm going to be a goofball on this show. I actually feel better to, being a goofball. So forgive me if I say wrong things, but I saw The Batman this weekend. Not Batman, The Batman. That's exactly the way that I'm looking at it. You nice person in the background with the tie, you can definitely relate to this. Did you ever go to a movie that just had you at hello? Long time ago? All right. You're overdue for one. Go see The Batman. The Batman, and it's very,
All right, who's playing Batman in this one?
All right, I have to admit, this is the second movie in a row that I went to that I liked Robert Pattinson in it. So I don't know what that says about me. I refuse to watch the Twilight movies. I refuse.
Oh, no. Those are not real vampires.
They're not.
I have opinions about that.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Bram Stoker, baby. Anyway.
Or True Blood.
True Blood,
Lost Boys. Or...
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, those were real vampires.
Yeah. It's like the real, old school and whatnot.
Vampires
and this
should
movie
not sparkle.
was definitely along the lines of old school. It's like it went back to like the original noir of the DC comic series.
Okay. Oh, the gritty Batman, Dark Knight kind of stuff.
Bingo.
Right.
No, like gritty.
The Frank Miller.
Frank Miller,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
That sort of thing. Graphic novels and whatnot. But I don't want to ruin this movie for you, but I'll just tell you. If you lived in the 90s and you were into the whole grunge music vibe and, I guess the message that they were trying to say, it's like, this is what we're dealing with is growing up and everything, you will definitely appreciate the first 5 minutes of this movie. Bar none. It had me at hello. Seriously. So check it out.
Right.
That's what I consumed this past week.
All right.
Yeah.
I spent Saturday consuming Dungeons and Dragons, which was amazing. A bunch of us sat around, and we are a bit older. Most of the folks were there were in their 40s, maybe older. Not I, but And everyone there, in being it potluck, we all had delicious different foods that everyone brought. A friend of mine is first generation Hungarian. He brought this great Hungarian food, delicious stuff. So consuming, we sat around a table, we talked, we laughed, we joked. So we had a friend who's part of the group who was talking about bringing that to more digital aspect, and half the group went, no, 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 no. The whole point of this is we want to sit around the table and enjoy each other's company.
Yes, yeah,
and part
exactly.
of that consuming is you're consuming other people's energy, and not from a I'm eating you, but from a
Shared.
And when your energy and their energy are in consonance, it increases that energy. It's they say love is the only thing that you can keep giving and it keeps creating more, right? So it can be something as simple as sitting around a table with some friends, consuming tasty food, playing a collaborative game, because that is what Dungeons and Dragons is. Take what it is. Collaborative game. It's fun.
Yeah, it's very scientific too, because you have to like figure out some of the numbers and things like that.
There's tactics, and the thing that I love about it is you can really take any part of that game and make it a therapeutic part. Like if you like tactics, you can use tactics. If you want to get out your inner bard and start insulting the monsters, you can do that. You can do all sorts of stuff that really helps you release some of the stuff that you can't do in real life. Sometimes it's as simple as wanting to bash somebody in the skull.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
I mean, you come up with a lore for a demon, it's like, you know, bam.
Right. You roll the 20 on your weapon and everyone cheers at the table because you're so excited that you critted on the monster.
Right, exactly. Well, so, you know, we get in touch with our inner beast. I mean, we're men, so I might as well have some fun with it from time to time. Hold on.
I have to say, half of my party on Saturday were nerd girls, and they were awesome nerd girls.
And women.
Yeah, man. D&D is not just for dudes, and if you look anywhere online, you will notice that some of the most awesome players are women. And
see, that's where I say stupid things a lot. So just pay attention to this guy, not me.
Somebody has to be the Tim Taylor.
He was busting my chops last week because I drink Bud Light Premium and everything like that. But I'm working on it.
We want to drink good beer.
It's a process.
This shirt behind me is from Beer Festival. All it is delicious, delicious beers.
Oh, nice.
One of the places I like to go in Rockland County, since we like to talk about local stuff, is Groundler Gill.
I love the place.
I don't know what's going on since the COVID times, but they held a beer festival for many, many, many moons, and it is all of these great craft beverages and foreign stuff that you pay a modest fee and you sit there and you just go around tasting everybody's stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Delicious. And they give you like little samples to try out and stuff like that. It's great.
It's amazing. So,
yeah,
I think it's a cool place.
Yeah, I was there. I got the chance to go there a few weeks ago. I am newly engaged, by the way.
Congratulations.
Jessica and I, we're going to tie the knot. It's great.
Okay.
Definitely waited for the right woman. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
But we went there on one of our first dates, and we went back there, I guess, like about 3-4 weeks ago. So we hung out, had a few drinks and everything. So it was definitely a cool vibe. The one thing that's missing, Stefan Waldman, acoustic guitarist, really cool guy, and he passed away, unfortunately, like about 2 or 3 years ago, before COVID. But just a really good dude, and we miss him. You know, he's like a stalwart of the music community in Rockland.
Well, we will be presenting more of those stalwarts of Rockland in Stony Music Fest.
That's true.
June 25th.
June 25th, we're going to be at the Riverfront Park yet again. It's our 8th annual one, and I'm happy to announce that the Rockland Chamber of Commerce got a grant for $5,000 from the County of Rockland's Department of Tourism. And thank you very much to Lucy Redzaposki.
Yay, Lucy!
Lucy! And Debbie Thomas from the Workforce Development Board. Just like, they're really helping in the effort to create a vibrant community of music, but also an economy around it. That's what I mentioned
Good.
It's like, the music does require work.
Yes.
It's not just the people that are in the studio that are composing the music. It's the sounds people. It's the audio-visual people.
Who's feeding those people?
Yeah. It's the people that have to look at numbers all day and figure out, where the budget's at. It's the
Tommy chasing down sponsors so we can all get paid.
Yes, that is true, and I also have a happy announcement about that. FJ Datoma Construction is coming back as a premier sponsor, along with Hauser Brothers and several others, and we also want to thank Emerald Retirement. They are going to be our stage sponsor this year. Matt Clements, thank you very much for sponsoring us. I feel like I'm getting into my business thing, but we're talking about what are you consuming? What are you consuming?
So, well, what was the best thing you ate in the last week?
We went to a business networking meeting last night. There was the burger.
Get away from business. You can't get away from business.
I know. It's that's why I'm on this podcast. Help me. No. We went to a business networking meeting this week, and there was some really good stuff at the old Joe and Joe's. It's now not Joe and Joe's in Nyack. It's called Nyack Grill, I believe, and they had some amazing scungili. It was definitely some good scungili. Yeah.
All right.
How about you? What did you consume?
Again, on that day of the great foodies, our great dungeon master, who was first generation Hungarian, made these Hungarian meatballs with mushroom sauce. It was
nice
to die for. And there was 2 kinds of stromboli. It was a feast.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. Best song that you heard.
That also correlates with what I saw, but
Okay.
on Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Okay. Interesting.
It was dark. It's a very, very dark song, but it also has. Let me put it this way: an appreciation for people that aren't as fortunate as us, that we have to, understand in order to help. That song really speaks to me.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
what awesome movie? What music did you listen to?
I'm trying to think of something that really sang to me.
Well, I set a low bar, so anything above that is a little happier than what I came up with.
I actually got to go out and see some live music on Friday down at Casa, and it was my dear friend Tito, who I've known since we were 8 years old, and he and his band Electric Beef played all sorts of covers, and it was just fun to get up there and dance and just. I didn't even care what they were playing. I was just, my buddy was there. I could get into his groove because I could watch him do his thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care what he was playing. I could probably, if I really had to think about it, I would tell you what the songs were, but just to sit there and be like, that's the kind of music I want to hear. I don't care what the type, I don't care what the song is. I just want to hear Tito play drums.
Digging it. Yeah. You almost you feel like you blend in with the band.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. And I've known those guys for a long time. So.
Hey, you guys are friends for a while, right?
Yeah, well, Tito, 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't even look like you're 40 years old. Come on.
48 years old.
All right, you got me by 2 years. I'm 46.
So.
We still look awesome. That's it. So what else? This is our second episode, and what are people consuming? By the way, feel free to ask us any questions that you have. We're going to be posting this podcast. Temporarily, it's going to be on our Work Smart podcast platform, but eventually we're going to put it into our own individual and unique podcast area, and then Mike, you'll have be able to load up episodes, and
we'll do some YouTube. Find some other ways to reach out to you, so you can reach back out to us. So we won't necessarily have to sit here and stammer for a few moments. What are we going to talk about next? Because you guys will have the questions right there for us.
And feel free to make fun of us, and that will make us better.
That's easy.
We will consume your roasts on us so that we can become better hosts, because this is more of an interactive experience.
Yeah.
It's not a one-way conversation. It's a two-way, three-way, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hey. Keep
All
your ways out of here,
okay,
man.
fine. It's a two-way conversation with us and you on the other end of this video on the interwebs. But smack the like button, and at the bottom of the screen, just write in your comments and such. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, feel free to smack the like button and add to the comments.
Your Italian seeping out, huh?
That's why you mentioned like what you had the Italian food. It was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
well.
Stromboli.
Yes. It was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A breakfast stromboli at that.
Really?
Yeah.
I never had a breakfast Stromboli.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Any sauce in it or just?
No, because the sauce is supposed to be on the side with the stromboli.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
should we do our third episode coming up, or?
We should absolutely do a third episode. And hopefully, when we put this out to all of you, you can give us a little bit more of what you would like to hear from us.
Yes.
We can talk about beer, gardening, because I did a bunch of that today.
That's right. You're an awesome gardener.
I don't know about awesome. I just do things at an instinct.
That's right. You're a gardener.
You know, I plant hope.
Yes. All right. Well, on that, we
I'm
absolutely
hoping
agree.
all the seeds will pop. I'm hoping the plants will provide me the tasty things. And it is something that I encourage to all of you, especially in these times of unrest around the world.
Yeah.
If you keep your supply lines short by feeding yourself the main things that you like to eat, you don't have to worry about it when the supply lines get cut.
Mm-hmm. As we see what's happening overseas and so on, and I have a friend, not going into too much detail, but she's got some family in Ukraine, and before the war, you store the farm items in the cellar, and that's the food for the entire season. You know, we as Americans, we don't do that as much, but might make sense to travel in that direction, and you could start with just planting a few cool vegetables. Anything you recommend?
In Rockland County, the most common thing, and I want to go back to our First Nation hosts, shall we call them, that we have so nicely allowed us to integrate into their lands.
Yes.
Insert sarcasm here.
Yeah. Yep.
The Three Sisters planting of corns, beans, and squash is something that goes back for hundreds of years, and all those plants do something called companion planting, where each plant helps the other plant do something.
For instance, I forget it, bilateral farming, where it's like multi-season farming.
This is more
that?
like the corn stands tall and the beans need something to grow on, so it grows on the beans. And
Gotcha.
The beans release food for the corn, and the squash grow up on the corn and do a ground cover to keep the moisture in. So all three of them kind of work together in a symbiotic relationship
Gotcha.
to making all of those each other a stronger plant. On top of that, they have most of what you need from a nutritional place. If you have just those three foods, you can survive. You may not thrive, but you can survive on just those foods.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting. So corn, beans, and squash. Okay.
And then there's always potatoes and tomatoes, which are easy to grow because they are new world crops, right? We are here in the new world. All those things that I've listed all came from here. Potatoes, I don't care what you say about the French fries, they did not come from France. Potatoes came from here. Tomatoes came from here, not from Italy. Sorry.
What?
Tomatoes came from here. They brought it to Italy.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, what?
The Italians hijacked tomatoes.
Well, I don't mind, but I did not know that.
On our next podcast, I'm going to come back with the research showing that tomatoes are nightshades and they came from here. And if
Amazing.
I am wrong, I will also tell you I'm wrong.
No, I'm very interested in this, and if you check out our last episode that we did, Mike had some very interesting information about some historical facts that you might want to check out. It's available on this podcast if you go to worksmartny.com and look for episode 333, season 333, episode 1.
Okay.
I just like the number 333.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what was it that I said there? Because I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think the audience should check it out for themselves. It was
Okay.
very insightful.
Okay.
It was very.
I guess I was insightful.
Yep.
You know what? You guys watch it. Tell us if I'm actually insightful or if he's crazy.
It's a combination thereof, I assure you. So
next week, same time, same Bat channel.
Same the Batman channel.
Oh, the Batman.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Please share this, and as I mentioned before, smack of the like button, and also write some comments in below. And we'll look forward to seeing you at our next episode of empty vessels.
What are you consuming? Eat
Today.
well.
Eat well.